firststepsewing.com. I'm Jini. In this segment, you're going to learn the essential tools for sewing. So what are the essential tools for sewing you need before you even start any kind of a sewing project? First thing you need is a rotary mat. A rotary mat is a big mat on which you can place your cloth or your fabric and cut it. Then you have a scale, a rotary scale, an alpha ruler which is transparent, and you can use this so that you can place, on the rotary mat, when you put your fabric, you place the ruler, the scale over it and align it according to the measurements and cut it, so you get a more accurate fabric cut. Another thing that you need is pinking shears. This is basically a dressmaker shears, that is to cut your cloth. It has a wide handle, one side, and another one is a round one. So you can put 4 of your fingers in, another one in, and it rests well so you can cut it. Another thing that you need is a measuring tape. Now this is for measuring anything that you are going to sew. You're going to sew something for yourself, maybe like a sash, so you need it to measure yourself. If you're going to sew maybe another thing, maybe like a tea cozy, so you have to use a measuring tape to measure the exact length of or width of whatever you are sewing. This is a rotary cutter. A rotary cutter will help you to cut, and this is like it's more like a pizza cutter, so it just rolls on the fabric when you're cutting it. It's also got a lock, so now it's unlocked, but if I press it up, it gets locked, so it is not so dangerous, or you may not get hurt, or fabric or anything else may not get cut just because you haven't put just because it is in this position. So I've unlocked position, this is the locked position. The fray block. The fray block is something in case if you have your fabric and it has fray around it, like this one you can see. And sometimes when you have your when you're sewing close, you don't want to cut it very close. You can use a fray block which stiffens the fabric and doesn't allow it to fray. Another thing that you can use is a seam ripper. A seam ripper helps you in case if you are opening up stitches, like for buttonholes, or for reasons if it is if the stitches has in the sewing, whatever you have sewn, the stitches are not proper. So it helps you to open the stitches very well. So a seam ripper is a part of every seamstress and sewer's toolbox. Fabric marker. You do need a fabric marker. Everybody needs one. Few years ago, maybe 10-20 years ago, it was a fabric chalk, and even now you get fabric chalk, which just, if you rub it off, it comes off. Now this is an air erasable marker. What it means is that when you make your markings on your fabric, it will last for about 2 to 6 days, and then after that it will just erase. It will evaporate in the air. The ink will just evaporate in the air. You need another thing is pins and a pin cushion. Pins, when you are sewing, bringing 2 pieces of fabric together, to pin them up so that you get it well. When you are sewing on the machine, then to hold it together, you need to pin them up. Well, not in all cases, but most of the cases, you may need to pin it up. And then a pin cushion. Now, pin cushion is something where you can just use you can put your pins back, you don't want it lying around, and it may get hurt and things like that. So you may get hurt, something like that. So a pin cushion, which you can make at home or you can buy from the market, so you can hold your pins on it. Matching thread. Now whatever you're using, fabric and matching thread. Now if you're sewing a sash, like I'm sewing a sash, so I'm using satin material. So depending on whatever you are sewing, you take your fabric and you take the matching thread. Now another thing that you have to remember is that the thread, for your sewing machine, it's not necessary that, it is not exactly necessary that you have your bobbin also the same color of the matching thread, but it's nice, not just nice, it gives a good outcome, a good result when you use both the bobbin as well as the overhead color, over the fabric, the matching thread. So it looks really elegant. Then you have the sewing machine, which you can use depending on your project. If you are somebody who's more experienced or somebody who's just starting out, depending on your level of skill, you can get a sewing machine according to what you want. So these are the essential tools for sewing. There's one more thing which I haven't added, and that is a pattern. Now a pattern is that depends, if you are an experienced sewer, you have sewn something before, then you can just take your fabric, cut according to what you want and do it. But if you aren't, then you need a pattern. A pattern is, you get it in different stores, and you can even get it online. Depending on what you want to sew, it will give you the length, and it will give you how it looks, the figures and things like that. So you need a pattern, and depending on whatever you're sewing, you can just buy one from the market, or get a friend, borrow it from a friend, or look around online. And coming to pattern, if you are looking to sew a tea cozy or a sash or a fabric jewelry pouch, look for my ebook, a step-by-step guide to sewing accessories, for more information. Well, until then, express yourself.